to the start zone. We are racing at Texas. Top two still side-by-side. Chad Stearns has covered off Bartel for third. Bartel now is going to have his hands full with Nathan Reynolds. Both of the sergeants started from the pits, so they're about half a lap down. But everybody else clean and green so far on lap number one is at the line. Give it to Palawota. Oh, trouble car in the wall, Paul Ellison. Ellison up and into the wall. The caution is out as there's more crashing ahead of him. Oh, boy.
Right here, Chad Stearns carried a ton of speed out of turn 4, so I believe just 5 left that have not come into pit. McKinnon, Palawota, Vroman, Will Salamone, and Oz Kanar.
Caution is out. Uh-oh. That is going to change a whole lot. But what a great start here for Jeremy McKinnon and Steve Vroman. They have both cleared Nathan Palawota. John Kay is inching his way towards the battle.
McKinnon got on the outside wall out of 4. Vroman is there now.
Vroman is in the lead.
Pass.
He got it.
McKinnon shuts the door, contact!
What a save by Jeremy McKinnon. It's going to stack up everybody behind him. That's the game you play here at the end. Palawota to the outside of Reynolds. Homestead Miami Speedway in Season 1 was the last time driver number 00 went to victory lane, but he's back here tonight in Season 6 at Texas Motor Speedway. Steve Vroman is back to victory lane. Our second and final virtual international race of the season is at hand as the drivers of the Venom Truck Series have arrived in the land of the rising sun for the second time in series history. We are getting ready to take another crack at this unique and challenging 1.54 mile long oval known at the facility itself as the Superspeedway, but we know it here as Twin Ring Motegi. And it is on tap for 115 laps in the All Your Race Car Are Belong to Us 180 for round number 6 of the 6th season of the Venom Truck Series. It's the broadcast boys abroad again. It's Tommy Cook. It's Mr. Matt Williamson's son. Konnichiwa. Genki nishite maska.
Wow, you really broke out the gibberish on me there, because I definitely understand it.
I had to try. Well, how's it going? That's basically what I was saying.
Oh, perfect. Well, it's going fantastic. This is going to be my first international trip here with the Venom Truck Series, as I was absent for Canadian Tire. So I'm excited to get outside of the United States and see how the boys and girls in the Venom Truck Series can handle the super speedway, if you will.
Yeah, we'll get to Twin Ring Motegi and the challenges about it in just a second here. But you, just a couple of minutes ago, you saw the highlights from Texas. It was another fantastic race in the opening stretch of the season here. How did round number 5 affect the points ahead of tonight's race at the Twin Ring Motegi?
Well, for the first time, going all the way back to round 6 of Season 5, we have a new points leader. Yes, Andy Poliski is no longer on top, as Nathan Reynolds' streak of ultra consistency has been good enough to take the top spot in the points. With his second 11th place finish of the season, Andy Poliski has slipped back to second by 5 points. A lot of things have stayed the same after Texas inside of the top 10, but the biggest movers inside the top 10 was TJ Bartel, who now finds his way up to 8th after another great mile-and-a-half run.
The task at hand tonight is an oval that some of our viewers may not be super familiar with, especially a lot of the younger ones. What can you tell us about the oval at Twin Ring Motegi?
It is sort of a hybrid oval with design inspiration from Darlington, the length of Atlanta, and the width and banking of Auto Club. Turns 1 and 2 should be nearly flat out there, and as you make your way down these long straightaways, it gives you a lot of time to get yourself set up nicely for the corners in turns 3 and 4. Like Darlington 3 and 4, they are a lower speed set of turns that are going to take a little bit of extra care and precision to navigate tonight.
Here are the notes from the only trip to the Motegi Oval so far in series history, all the way back in Season 3. Only one caution in that race, 5 lead changes, and a thrilling battle all the way down to the line between Ryan Dye and Carson Mitchell, in which the latter came away victorious. So maybe we're in for that same amount of action and excitement here tonight as we get ready to get after it here at Twin Ring Motegi in the All Your Race Cars Are Belong to Us 180. The Venom Truck Series is around the turn on turn 200.
A blind night that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon deep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation. Welcome back to Virtual Japan. Fasten your seatbelts if you got them, race fans. We are about to get going here in just about 2.5 minutes for 115 laps around the Twin Ring Motegi Oval. Mr. Matt Williamson, we've been watching practice. We've been watching qualifying. What are your first impressions here of the big oval?
Well, I think a lot of our normal speed demons on these intermediate tracks are going to be out again tonight. We talked a little bit about the track in the pre-race show. I think coming out of turn 4 is going to be a very tricky spot for the drivers tonight. We've seen a lot of people getting up into the wall out of turn 4. It's going to be an interesting test here, and one that we don't really see that often. In the sim, and definitely not in real life either. So it'll be interesting.
We mentioned 3 of the top 5 drivers in the points in our pre-race window there. The 2 that we did not mention, first of all, Ryan Dye down in P5. He is not here tonight, but he is watching. So Ryan says it'll be nice to watch a broadcast and not know what's going to happen for a change of pace, I suppose. But hope to see you back here again next week, I think, hopefully. I know you're missing Daredevil tomorrow night as well. The other driver that we did not mention, who is 3rd in the points, is Allstate John Kay, who was fastest in practice, and he will now find himself on the outside of the front row for this start. You mentioned the recurring speed demons of the season, and John Kay has certainly been a name that has been at the top of the leaderboard all season long.
He certainly has. I mean, he didn't run a full season last year, but he kind of had a little bit of a slow start when he came back into the series, but finally ended up picking up the pace towards the end, notched a win. But this season, he has been lights out for him. He is really looking to go for this thing, and I think he could really do it if he keeps it up.
Absolutely. And it still says two-time VTS winner in his little SDK description there. He is a three-time winner now. Won at North Wilkesboro last season and won at Atlanta this season. It is third in the points coming into tonight. The driver that he is going to have to overtake is the one and only Mr. Car inside himself, Nathan Reynolds, who has another pole. We'll get to all the official coronation and all that here soon. But Nathan, as well as several other drivers here tonight, as always here this season, carrying the car inside camera. Link is in the description if you are somebody who is as confused as I would be trying to drive the truck around Nashville Superspeedway. The helpful guides are in the description of this video. They'll take you right to car inside and help you figure out what's going on there. It is time to get tonight's starting grid off and rolling for the All Your Race Car R Belong to Us 180 around the Twin Ring Motegi Oval for round number 6 of season number 6 of the Venom Truck Series. And with another pole this season, it's his 4th of the season and the 19th of his career. That is Nathan Reynolds leading the field of green. All-State John Kay starting to his outside. That is an Alabama gang front row lockout. Driver second of the points will start in third on the grid. Andy Poliski will roll up from the inside of row number 2. Beside him is the one and only Mr. Michael Dean. Dino finished 4th here in Season 3, so this must be one of the better tracks here for Michael Dean. Starting in P5 here tonight, good qualifying run for Kyle Zittel in 5th. To his outside, running a pretty cool paint scheme, if I should say so myself, TJ Bartell. An intermediate king here this season. We'll start in 6th. Rodney Matney on a 2-race streak of top 10s coming into tonight. He will start at 7th. Brantley Gainey coming off his best finish of the season last week will start in the 8th position. Luke Peterson, I'm pretty sure, just lagged out of the session as he was giving the invocation, so hopefully he can get back in here and roll off on 9th. Will Salamone, one of only 3 drivers this season to complete every single lap of competition. He rounds out your top 10 starters here tonight. Oz Kanar, Nathan Palawoda, Terminal Velocity teammates there on row number 6. Paul Ellison and Garrett Rainey, Alabama gang teammates there on row 7. Jon Van Leer, Greg Roberts, Michael Crawlback in the field here tonight starting in 17th. Cole Maxwell, Jeremy Carter, and Eric Breeding round out your top 20 starters. Carson Mitchell, the only driver to win here in Venom Truck Series competition, will start in 21st. As you take a look through the rest of the starting lineup there, Matt Williamson, what do we got? What are we going to be keeping our eyes on here tonight?
Well, we always like to look at our fuel window here. I think it's going to be about 40 to 45 laps, 3 extra sets of tires, and 0 fast repairs, as always here in the Venom Truck Series. Let's just take a quick glimpse at the weather before we get going here. Track temperature, 117 degrees, so it was a little bit cooler for the drivers last week in Texas. This week we've picked up the heat a little bit here as we'll have a tough test.
32 trucks hitting the grid here tonight. And also to note, we didn't mention Steve Roman. He is in the field. If you didn't see him, he is starting back in 25th. So a lot of work for Steve Roman to do here tonight. And Nathan Reynolds and John Kay leading the field to green here at Twin Ring Motegi.
And already here goes John Kay looking to make quick work of a teammate here. Nathan Reynolds dives down into turn 3.
Which line will prevail early in the going here? Kay on the bottom. Reynolds, tires aren't quite up to temperature. He plows out of turn 4, opens the door for John Kay to go to the lead. Here goes Poliski now with a peek to the inside of Reynolds for second. They are 3 wide, just inside of the top 10. as that all gets sorted out. Maybe Garrett Rainey, I think, just got some contact. I think that was with Jan Van Leer, maybe.
I think it was. Jan was way down onto the apron. He's going to lose at least 2 spots here, probably.
Yeah, Jan back to, I think, 15th now. As here comes a challenge for spot number 4. Zittel trying to hang on. Michael Dean wanted the spot, not going to take it.
And a little bit farther. Oh, wow, Salamone. Salamone and Rodney Matney nearly made contact there.
So Nathan Palawota was scheduled to start in the 12th position, but he is back in 32nd. Apparently on the starting grid, he couldn't move. The car would not let him go into gear. The truck, rather, would not let him go into gear, so he had to start from the pits. So he is cracked off the purple lap of the session, but is back in 32nd. Out of touch with the lead pack here.
And up front, John Kay is extending a little bit of a lead here. He's got about 6 tenths or 7 tenths of a lead here in the early goings. We'll see if he can keep up the pace or if he's burning the tires off and everybody else is going to have a run on him a little bit later here.
Rodney Matney and Oz Canar battling for 7th as we go into turn number 1. That is Matney on the bottom. Canar in a pink paint scheme here this week. Will drop a spot, and now maybe 2. Is Salamone looking to the inside?
Yeah, we've seen early on, you got to be careful of letting people get underneath you because it can turn into a little bit of a freight train here. The next person in line may have a look, and Oz Canar absolutely sailed it into turn 3 there.
He went in about 4 truck lengths deeper than Matney did, and it was good enough to work. I'd be weary about trying that one again. Call it once is good. And John Kay's lead continuing to extend here about 7.5 tenths over Andy Poliski. Poliski is pulled out by about half a second over Nathan Reynolds. Kyle Zittle's pulling up to the back of this 38 here.
Oh, caution's out.
Trouble maybe, I think, for Kyle Dumig is off the pace at the back of the pack.
Yep, he certainly is. We'll take a look. I think it was him. We're going to rack a replay.
He is going to get up into the wall, but he saves it. Doesn't ever go around. So, I mean, that was an auto caution. That wasn't a mod caution. I bet Kevin Sargent is feeling a little bit of a heart palpitation after that one.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, went right across him, and Dumig does end up pretty much stopped sideways on the track at some point. Doesn't quite come to a complete stop, but nearly. So I think that is what brought that caution out.
And it's going to be sort of saving grace for Dumig, who is having a heck of a time here this season. You know, despite the great save, he was going to be way off of the rest of the field in the back. So caution will bunch everybody back up. Lap number 6 is when the caution came out. We're working lap number 8 now, and yeah, not a whole lot of takers onto pit road here. See a few just inside and just outside of the top 10. Garrett Rainey, Paul Ellison, Eric Breeding, Jeremy Carter, Mark Dillon Jr., Tyler Bergert, Kenneth Graves, Luke Peterson, and of course Kyle Dumig. And should also note, I mentioned Luke Peterson had a disconnect. He made it back into the session in time for the green flag, but he had to start from the pits. So he and Palawota were sort of out by their lonesome out back. So that's an early strategy call here, maybe for Peterson to try and get a leg back up.
Yeah, I was certainly interested in how many people would come in. Only a few takers. I think my call here would be to stay out as well. you know, these corners are pretty hard on your tires in my experience. So I think saving a set here, and if we're going to have some incidents a little bit later on, I think is probably a smart move. But if you need track position now, like some of the drivers that came in do, now might have been a good time to come in as well.
Should be coming to the one to go here. We got plenty of time to tell you about what we got coming up tomorrow. But somebody forgot to make a graphic for it, so it's just going to have to be audio, no visuals. So that was me, by the way. That wasn't me throwing shade at Matt on there. That was my fault. The Daredevil Series tomorrow, back in action. Another 60-lap race, but this time at Lime Rock Park. 1.53 mile, 7-turn road course. About 5 of those turns are all out, full speed, or full pedal to the metal, if you will. Absolutely insane what we are going to have on tap tomorrow. And basically a jump in the middle of the back straightaway too. But that's, you know, it's just going to be a lot of fun. We want you to be here. Stream is scheduled already. And plan on being here. Best way to do that is to hit subscribe on this video, hit the bell to get notified when we go live tomorrow, which should be around 7:50 Eastern, 6:50 Central, for 60 laps for round number 2 of the 3rd season of the Daredevil Series from virtual Lime Rock Park.
All right, partner. We saw some 3 wide in that initial start. I'm sure we're probably going to have some here on the restart as well.
We could go about 5 or 6 wide. We'll see if these drivers are going to test it. Is John Kay going to get a good launch here off the bottom? Green flag is out. Poliski going to find himself with his hands full of Nathan Reynolds, the top 2 in the points, trailing P3 in the points. On lap number 10, Zittel in 4th, Michael Dean in 5th, Bartel lurking just outside of the top 5.
And here comes Nathan Reynolds underneath of Poliski into turn 3.
Poliski, sort of like Martinsville at this point, you need to find your way into line. But he gets a good run there off the outside. A good run down the straightaway here. He's actually clear down on Reynolds. Forget what I'm talking about. Reynolds backs way up, nearly gets run into by Zittel.
Yeah, I think Zittel had to check up a little bit. That allows everybody behind them to get very close, bumper to bumper here.
Reynolds did not race this race in Season 3. Won the championship in Seasons 1 and 2, and then has been part-time up until this season. Says he is going for the title and currently leads the points. Everybody is working their way down the front straightaway, save for Kyle Dumig and Tyler Bergert.
And Michael Dean working on Kyle Zittel now. Thought he would be clear. He's not quite.
And Bartel hoping the door stays open as Dean is going to get clear. Behind them, Salamone is working underneath of Pinar now for spot number 8. Zittel with a good run off the outside there is going to fend off TJ Bartel for now.
And Bartel looks to the inside again. That inside line actually gets a pretty good run out of turn 2, but struggles getting a run out of turn 4.
Need a little bit more rubber, I think, on this outside line in 3 and 4, and then I think it actually may be the way to go. Once this track gets run in a little bit more, we are only 14 laps into this race now, so 102 laps to go.
And Zittel is on a...
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, Zittel's on a bit of a slide here. All the way down to 6th. Rodney Matney is all over him.
How about the runs for Rodney Matney of late? 10th at Canadian Tire, 9th last week at Texas, was running higher than that most of the race and sort of got caught out by that strategy, or that caution, rather, at the end.
Well, he came in at the end of Season 5 and had some good finishes. We personally had never seen him before, and those good finishes have just continued here into Season 6. Very glad to have him out to more races this season.
Absolutely. I believe he said between Season 2, when the last time we saw him in the Venom Truck Series, and when he picked back up around round 10 or 11 last season, I believe he said he was starting a business and focusing on that. So that's sim racing, of course, is going to take the back seat when real life stuff like that is happening. So, but it's good to see Rodney back here tonight, or back here this season rather, and doing really good of late. While we're focusing on him, Andy Poliski has cut the advantage up to John Kay by up to about 0.2 of a second now. About 2 or 3 truck lengths now is all that separates Kay from Poliski.
Well, just about a lap and a half ago.
Reynolds with him.
Yeah, just about a lap and a half ago, Poliski was actually right there with John Kay. Like right on his bumper, not even a truck length in between. So he is certainly picking up the pace here.
So the lead's starting to yo-yo just a little bit. But John Kay has led them all thus far from the outside and pull.
Yeah, and I mean, I think, the distance between these drivers is going to yo-yo quite a bit, especially here in turns 3 and 4, because if you screw up the entry and then don't get a good exit out of turn 4, you can lose a lot of time to somebody that gets a good run out of that turn.
Rodney Matney has just gotten past Kyle Zittel, the 6th position. Actually scratched that. He fended off a challenge from Will Salamone and is now pulling up to Kyle Zittel.
These three have been tight for the last 5 laps or so.
And Bartel is starting to reel in Michael Dean a little bit here, so maybe we're due for a battle for 4th here before too much longer.
And just behind them, inside of the top 10, is one of our car inside drivers of the race.
Would that be one JVL?
It certainly would be Mr. Jan Van Leer, who has put together some pretty decent finishes here as of late. He's a little bit outside of Brantley Gainey Jr. here, but there's a pack of 4 cars in front of him, and the other 3 are the aforementioned Rodney Matney, Kyle Zittel, and Will Salamone. And Zittel has fallen almost a couple of spots here. I'm not quite sure.
Matney has gotten past him, and Salamone just went by him as well.
So Zittel really starting to back up here now.
The driver between Jan Van Leer and Kyle Zittel is Brantley Gainey, and that big bright orange number 22 here this week.
Well, Jan Van Leer is putting some time on these fellas as they're battling. He's going to be right there here in just a lap or 2, I think.
Speaking of right there, Andy Poliski was right there again on John Kay, but is now backed up. I think Poliski's a lot stronger through turns 1 and 2. But Kay has the field covered in 3 and 4. I bet Rodney Matney is happy that he is getting away from that gaggle behind him.
Yeah. The competition for a top 10 in this series is pretty stiff.
And Jan said as much himself. He said, I could usually bank on at least a top 5, if not a podium at a road course. And man, I was struggling to stay in the top 10 at Canadian Tire. I think he ended up finishing 11th. He's like, man, it has really stepped up through the field, and he's right. That's for sure.
Well, he just completed a pass on Brantley Gainey Jr., now up to the 9th position.
Poliski, I think, he had a little bit of a run. It sort of stalled out here as they work towards turn number 3. He takes just a glance there to the inside, but K with a better line there is going to get a better roll through the middle of 3 and 4. But Poliski starting to make his presence known. These two were battling at North Wilkesboro for the win before that final caution came out. I think John K would rather forget that encounter. Poliski wouldn't. Do have some lap traffic just in front of the leaders here, Tyler Bergert and Kyle Dumick both. Poliski a little bit wide there on the entry, backs it way up, all the way down on the apron to try and block an advance there from Reynolds.
Reynolds didn't even attempt to pass Poliski here. I think he's just kind of playing nice, sitting back here, waiting for either Poliski or John K to make solo mistakes or make a mistake together even.
You know, this is one of the oddball tracks on the calendar. It is an oval, but it's an oval that, I mean, hardly gets any use in an official capacity. It's up to leagues, really, to run races on this oval. So, you know, if you're talking about raw skill, you know, you would sort of expect these three to be up here battling it out. So it's more of a, maybe less of how to drive this track and more how to save tires sort of thing. Or at least maybe that's what Reynolds is hoping right now.
Well, speaking of raw skill and just trying to battle it out here, Steve Roman up 12 positions to P13.
Wow.
After starting well back in the field.
Yeah, 25th place starting spot. A little uncharacteristic, but it was great to see Steve Roman break a mega long winless streak here in the Venom Truck Series after coming so close so many times, even just in our time covering the Venom Truck Series. He's come so close multiple times. It's great to see him finally get over the hump and get back to victory lane last week.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, he had around the time of Season 5, he had other good runs. I mean, he was a Truck 200 winner while Season 5 was happening. He just couldn't quite get it put together here in the Venom Truck Series, was finally able to do it last week. And he put himself in a bit of a hole this week, but I mean, for a first run here, you can't ask for anything more than up 12 spots before you even get a set of tires. I mean, that is absolutely huge.
Absolutely. Great point there. Working lap number 27. We think the fuel window is about 40 to 45. Tire wear is, I mean, it's a concern, but it is not, it's not the pressing concern of these drivers. So expect maybe some early pitters around lap 40 if we had to guess.
And we were on board with Jan Van Leer a little while ago. He is up to P7 now, so he actually made a couple more passes after we left him.
That is the good news. The bad news is that he is faded by about 2 seconds behind Rodney Matney, who has pulled up to the scene here of this battle for 4th. Michael Dean, TJ Bartell, and now Matney in spot number 6 has closed right up on these two.
And they're also working around a little bit of lap traffic. That is the 44 of Tyler Bergert, who I think had a bit of a solo incident earlier in the race.
And Mark Dillon Jr. has just packed it up and called it a night, so he'll be the first retiree. Not exactly sure what happened to Mark Dillon there. So he was the first retiree last week at Texas as well. So back-to-back unfortunate nights for driver number 34. As they were just nose to tail, first, second, and third, and now Reynolds is trying to fight on the outside here to get around Andy Poliski.
Reynolds has been all over Poliski. Wow. Reynolds nearly in the wall out of 4. He was letting it all hang out there.
And he is running the Dale Earnhardt Gold Bass Pro Shop number 3 livery here this week. That thing looks sharp, that's for sure.
Yeah, Poliski, I mean, at the end of the
everything on the bottom. Ooh.
at the end of the season, when they have their paint scheme poll for a winner, that is going to be one to beat.
I'd have to think on it. It's definitely in my top 3 of the season so far, I'd say. I mean, not that there ever weren't, but man, there is some stiff competition here this season. Everybody has just stepped it up and continually step it up every single week.
Rodney Matney has now gotten around TJ Bartell. So Matney, late in this run, is making a heck of a push here.
Starting to hear a lot of angry tires on these trucks. I think Kevin Sargent just either moved out of the way or got moved out of the way. Has just lost about 3 spots here on this lap.
I'd like to take a good look at this this number 74 machine, because it's
yeah, let's take a good look at that.
It's a pretty good looking truck, if you ask me. We'll
I'd say
get a couple of different camera angles here just to show it off in all of its glory.
I did say, Reynolds would probably be in my top 3. That one is definitely, it might be in my top 1, honestly.
Yeah, and there's
no reason why.
Yeah, there's no
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No nepotism here.
No, none at all.
Really took me that long to think of that word, unfortunately, but here we are.
I mean, that is a big word. I started this broadcast by not speaking in English, so, I mean, we're just going for complexity here on this street.
You almost did it.
Yeah. Almost. It wasn't English, to be fair. It also wasn't Japanese.
Oh, gosh. Well, you fooled me, I can tell you that much.
Oh, well, sure. The Japanese, they always put in the middle of their sentence like I do. Very authentic.
All right, well, here we are. Lap 35 is going to go on the board here pretty quickly. If you really wanted to just split this race in thirds, I think you would want to come to the pits just before lap 40. So they can stretch it farther if they want to, but I think that's going to be the spot. Lap 37, 38 is going to be where you're going to want to come in to maybe split this thing into thirds.
Top 5 right now. John Kay has led every single lap thus far. Nathan Reynolds is starting to close in on him after he's dispatched Andy Poliski. So the top 3 in points run first, second, and third in a different order than they are in the points. Michael Dean is starting to catch Andy Poliski right now. Dean runs in 4th. He has broken away from Rodney Matney, who's in 5th. TJ Bartell is back to 6th. Jan Van Leer comfortably in the 7th position right now. Brantley Gainey is in 8th. Nathan Paluota, after the pit road start, is up to P9. And Steve Vroman and Paul Ellison right now battling for the 10th position. Ellison has it. Vroman wants it. Kyle Zittel, Garrett Rainey, Will Salamone, and Greg Roberts. Flinky in the 15th position right now. And a quick shout out as well to Michael Krall, who is back after missing the last few races. He is running in position number 16 here tonight. And as you say, the early pit window may be opening. Ethan Patterson has hit pit road. I think Poliski is letting Michael Dean through. Poliski may be coming to pit road here soon. But not this time. Poliski maybe just knows he's starting to fade a little bit.
And as he's fading, Reynolds was, right on John Kay's bumper going into turn 1 here.
Backs up the entry, looking for a big run off. They're about equal in terms of drive off of turn number 2. Reynolds would love to get this pass done before pit stops. It's clear he was saving now, because he has got what John Kay wants, and that is some drive off of these turns.
A reminder for the viewers, I know we talk about it pretty much every week. These two are teammates, so I feel like they share quite a bit of information, but I'm not sure how much they share once it actually comes to race time as far as pit strategy goes. I know they work on lap times and getting, putting good laps in together quite a bit. But it'll be interesting to see if they come in together or separate here as Reynolds looks to the inside.
Okay, looking for the run off of the top side here. I'm not sure he's going to get it. And he does, actually. And this is usually flip-flop from what we normally see. It's normally Reynolds out front. K, after pit stops, will find his way to the front, usually by pitting a little bit earlier than Reynolds, outlasting. But this time it's been Reynolds that's been on offense and K on defense, as Andy Pulaski, Kyle Zittel, Corey Rutherford are on pit road.
Alrighty, so finally, some of our folks that were in the top 10 have come down to pit. I think Pulaski needed it badly. It seemed like he was fading pretty quick. And here comes John K.
Jinx, you owe me a Fago. John K on pit road. Trying to maximize pit entry there, making sure he didn't pick up a black flag, and he did not. Rodney Matney is on pit road. So this should start to bring everybody. I can't imagine Reynolds stays out another lap after this.
No, likely not. And John K is the king of pitting just a lap or two before everybody else. That's what he prefers generally. So does not really surprise me that he is one of the, not the first, but one of the first couple from the top 10 to come in. And you are correct. Here comes Reynolds and Michael Dean.
Michael Dean made up a hell of a bunch of time there.
Well, I'm wondering
if he came in a truck length and a half.
I'm wondering if when K came into pit, it slowed Reynolds down a bit.
Not sure. But Dino came in, as well as Jan Van Leer and Michael Kroll. All three drivers hitting pit road here. Austin Holyfield in as well. Last time around, Pascal Samard also hit pit road, as well as Kyle Dumig. Cole Maxwell is in the pits now as well.
Current leader is now TJ Bartel. You see he comes in, and John K is just in front of him coming out of the pits. Bartel will continue another lap, now passed by Pulaski, who's on fresh tires.
No black flags during this cycle, which is the good news. Hopefully it stays that way. A few drivers are calling out that they were hitting pit road this time. Garrett Rainey, Nathan Palawoda, Craig Roberts.
Will Salamoni as well here.
I think Salamoni and Rutherford made contact, is what it sounded like over the... Rutherford with an apology. Oz Kanar on pit road now as well.
And we've seen this a lot this season from TJ Bartel. When everybody else comes in early, he seems to stay out almost as long as he possibly can. Continues on to lap 43 without coming in.
And yes, I mistakenly said last week that Bartel was one to pit early, and you were right. He is definitely not one to pit early. In fact, pitting late has worked out pretty well for him all across the board this season. So if Bartel's going to pit this time, he is going to have a long way to go off the top side of the track. Nope, he's going to stay out. So maybe going for a full fuel run here. Again, we think it's around 45 laps, but these drivers like to surprise us. Is our friend
stays out.
Roman still out on track?
Yep.
I was just
gonna say he stays out. No surprise, Steve Roman is still out.
Yep. So I think down to 9th is still out on the track. Bartel, Gainey, Ellison, Vroman, Peterson, Breeding, Carter, Sargent, and Mitchell. And no takers so far. This time around, working lap number 45.
We'll keep
Race
stretching
leader,
it here. And we did have
Bartel.
2 or 3 caution laps in here as well, so they're going to be able to stretch it a little bit farther than they usually would.
Good point. And a couple of drivers, maybe even the ones that stayed out. Luke Peterson, I know for sure, did come down under that caution, so they can go an extra maybe a couple laps.
Yeah, and Paul Ellison did as well. It looks like out of these few that have stayed out, I think it's Carter, Ellison, and Vroman, excuse me, not Vroman, Peterson and Eric Breeding. So it's Ellison, Peterson, Breeding, and Jeremy Carter that came in on lap 7, I'm sure, to top off fuel.
So they could probably go to at least lap 50, maybe lap 55. But Bartel should be pit road bound here within the next 2 or 3 laps, I would imagine. Top 14 trucks are on the lead lap right now. And again, still the top 9, or rather the top 8 have stayed out. Rather, top 7, sorry, as Carson Mitchell has been overtaken by Andy Poliski, and Kevin Sargent has come into the pits.
Yep, and John Kay is
right now.
John Kay is cycled out to the front here. Poliski behind, and then Nathan Reynolds.
By about 3.5 seconds. Not sure if the gap was bigger or smaller than that originally, but that's what it's sitting at right now. And Carson Mitchell hitting the pits this time.
Bartel is out for another one.
Boy. Interesting. I think he just wants to get some airtime with this lovely paint scheme. You know what? I can't say I blame him, because it does look pretty good. By the way, we did not ask him to do this. He asked us if he could do this, and we, of course, said yes.
That just gives us a bit of an excuse to go ahead and plug ourselves more than we already do. And he stays out for another one. Lap 49 will be up on the board for TJ Bartel without coming into pit.
Gives us an ego boost, too. Not that we need that.
Certainly. Alrighty, here comes Luke Peterson. He was one that came in on lap 7, so he doesn't stretch it too far here.
It's not showing me the Peterson pit, but I see him on pit road. Nathan Palawoda is back down pit road. Not sure why. I'm pretty sure he is already pit. So he must have hit the wall or something. So not sure what happened there.
So still out on the track that has not come into pit at all in the race is TJ Bartel, Brantley Gainey, and Steve Roman.
And Eric Breeding, I think. Oh,
well,
you're
Breeding
saying
came in on lap 7.
At all. Yes, you're right.
And John Kay is actually past Eric Breeding now. So John Kay is working his way up through the field on raw pace alone. So everybody else that needs to come in here is going to be...
Oh, Bartel on the wall! He absolutely clobbered the wall out of turn number 2. However much fuel he had left in the tank, he may think about aborting this long run here. Undeterred, staying out. I would have been hitting the panic button, that's for sure.
I was trying to look at the right rear here. It really doesn't look too bad. Was it the front, maybe?
I mean, it was the right side.
Wow.
If it didn't register, I mean, to be fair, this new damage model is a little bit more lenient on right side damage. The front and the back are a different story, but
well, it looks
did
pretty
hit pretty
clean.
flush, but it also hit pretty hard. So here's to
Pretty
hoping
clean
it's
right
okay.
now, so I guess he's not super worried about it. And he stays out for another one. Unbelievable. Here comes Brantley Gainey.
Our fuel count could be a little bit wrong, but like, holy cow. To go 13 more laps than John Kay is pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, just on the strategy alone, and I mean, this is going to set up certainly an interesting rest of the race for them.
Eric Breeding is on pit road. Here comes Bartel.
Whew, man. I don't
53
know
laps.
if he made it. He sailed it in there.
No flags showing yet. I'll keep my eye on it.
And Roman is in as well. So that must have been the absolute extent of the gas tank there.
Wow. Incredible run, though. Paul Ellison is still out on track, but he did not lead across the line that time. Nathan Paluota has dropped out due to packet loss.
And I guess, I don't know why I wasn't thinking this, but, you know, seeing how far TJ Bartel and Steve Roman were able to take this fuel, Paul Ellison, who came to pit on lap 7, if he does exactly what Bartel and Roman just did, he can only make one more stop in the race and possibly make it.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably what he's looking at this point.
Big strat plays. So Nathan Paluota's streak of good runs is going to come to an end here tonight. I'm sure he'll still be in the top 10 in points, and definitely will still be the leading rookie contender. But already 4 laps down, and outside of the top 30. Even if he does reconnect here, he's not going to be looking to make up too many positions here for the rest of the race. Ethan Patterson just nailed the wall at a turn number 4 and got a meatball flag, but is still rolling, so we're still green.
Well, Tommy, what do you say we go ahead and go car inside with the man who is the owner and operator of Car Inside?
I think that sounds lovely.
Of course, that is Mr. Nathan Reynolds, your current series points leader and 2-time back-to-back previous champion. He is finally back for a full season and has the series points lead right now, but not by a wide margin. It's pretty close there in the top 5. So he certainly still has a lot of work to do for the rest of this season.
The report from Rebecca, Mrs. Woda, out on the grounds, says Woda's internet is out.
Oh.
Yikes. Bad time for the ISP to take a crap during Tuesday night trucking. You hate to see it. And Lindsay G in the chat with the All Your Base are belong to us. Love it, love it. Jan Van Leer, pioneer of the internet, had to pay homage to one of the first ever memes. And Ethan Patterson is going to call it a night here as well.
Nathan Reynolds still on board. He is looking down the barrel of some heavy lap traffic.
Now, he has gotten past Andy Poliski since they both came out of the pits. He's about 2 seconds clear. But he is 3 wide with lap traffic as Ellison is just peeled off the pit. So Reynolds is going to move back up to second, and John Kay is finally, after 19 laps, going to find his way back to the lead here. And it's about a second between these two and one more lap truck to clear in the form of Cole Maxwell.
Wow, that strategy for Paul Ellison is going to be something to watch as this race continues.
I am excited to see how it's going to turn out. Interesting. Cole Maxwell, instead of telling Nathan Reynolds where to go here, he just queued up and started singing "I'm the Scat Man."
That's Cole Maxwell.
That is, yep. Absolutely. And now he's blinking. Oh, no.
Oh, no. Everybody's internet service provider is going down. Hopefully I don't suffer the same fate, because this thing could be over.
I forgot we're all using the same router. Every single one of them. Reynolds now with only one truck in his crosshairs, and it's John Kay. That gap has come down by about 2.5 tenths since he's got clear of Cole Maxwell, and it continues to shrink here. Good to point out as well, TJ Bartel came out 9th, is already up to 7th here.
A little tidbit of information for you here. I just went to the rear of John Kay's car to get a good look at Nathan Reynolds making gain on him. He is shifting down in turns 3 and 4.
Yes, that does not surprise me. It is really low 4th gear here. So would not be shocking at all to see shifting, especially in turns 3 and 4. Maybe in turns 1 and 2 if you really get bottled up. But here goes Reynolds now with a look. He has yet to find his way to the lead after sitting on the pole, and now he is clear of Kay, who is looking for a crossover now. Reynolds may be a little bit too deep, but gets a great corner exit. Reynolds to the lead at the line.
Lindsay just said in the chat that the southeast is getting hit pretty hard with some weather. I think it's the same weather that came across my neck of the woods here earlier today, here in the Nashville area. Probably the same little bit that's going across them as well. And there was some heavy stuff coming down. So hopefully that is the extent of internet issues we have here.
And hopefully this is the extent of the bad southeast weather. I know there's a tropical depression spinning up right now, so hopefully it stays the hell away here the next couple of, not just for racing purposes, but obviously for safety purposes for everybody. We got a lot of folks down on the eastern seaboard and the southeast here with the Venom Truck Series, so hoping all stays well, and some storms are just all we get here.
Andy Poliski here is getting passed by Paul Ellison, who we've mentioned is on a very, very alternate strategy than everybody else. But looking to get around Cole Maxwell here as well. He is about 1.8 seconds behind John Kay.
Yep. Remember, Michael Dean was right behind Nathan Reynolds when they came into the pits. He is about 3.5 seconds behind Reynolds now, so Reynolds was able to put the work in after they left pit road. But Rodney Matney is now closing in on Dean for the 4th position here as they navigate through some lap traffic.
Well, Dean really turned it on at the end of the run, so
yes, he did.
If history tells us anything, he still has quite the run to make here before we come in for our hopefully final pit stop of the evening. We got a long ways to go before we got to worry about that.
Absolutely. It's lap 66, and Reynolds already out to a second advantage after finally taking the lead away from John Kay, who has fallen back to second, and Kay just got passed by Paul Ellison, who is trying to get up back onto the lead lap on this alternate strategy, like you mentioned. I cannot wait to see how the rest of Ellison's race plays out here. And we'll see if Ryan Dye is right, and Ellison is maybe now on this alternate strategy, the man to beat here tonight. So the top 5 are all within 5 seconds of the lead here. Then 11 seconds behind is Jan van Leer. 15 seconds behind is Bartel. 20 seconds behind or more, Rainey, Gainey, and Greg Roberts inside the top 10.
And Poliski has cut the gap between him and John Kay in half over the last few laps. Now remember, John Kay was the first. Actually, no, Poliski was the first.
Yes.
of these drivers to come in. So him gaining on John Kay is a huge deal here.
And how many times have these three been the top three this season? At least 3 times.
I was going to say in almost every oval race, probably.
Poliski, unfortunately, despite being the Texan of the bunch, didn't really have a great Texas. It says he doesn't really look forward to Texas either. But outside of that, it seems like these three have pretty much been the three to beat, including at Canadian Tire Motorsports Park where they swept the podium.
Paul Ellison has unlapped himself now, just in front of Nathan Reynolds.
So he is the 18th and final truck on the lead lap. Cole Maxwell is in the free pass position should we get a caution. And one caution in Season 3, and only one caution here so far tonight. But we are running 25 more laps than we did in Season 3 here tonight. Oz Kanar has now disconnected. After his teammate dropped out earlier, Kanar will now join Patterson, Paluota, and Dillon in the virtual garage, in the garage. I wonder what the Japanese word for garage is. Shako. In the Shako. Interesting.
Lindsay G in the chat says that she's an insurance agent for
Interesting.
Florida folks. Well, that's funny you say that. I'm an insurance agent for Tennessee folks. So, yes, Florida insurance has been quite wild. As boy, Andy Poliski got pretty close to the wall out of 2 here. But he is making a charge on John Kay. Now, John Kay could be playing it smart, just kind of saving a little bit here, or he could be all out, just trying to stay in front of Andy. A little update on TJ Bartel, who stayed out for a long time, the longest, along with Steve Vroman. He is in 7th right now. He's about 12 seconds behind the leader, and then Steve Vroman is in 12th, about 27 seconds behind the leader. So, of course, Bartel was much more advanced in the race here than Steve Vroman was. Steve Vroman, of course, we've talked about it, started in 25th, so he has had a long road to hoe here, but he is making it work, trying to pick off spots everywhere he can. He's actually working on Luke Peterson. This is a pass for position if he can complete it.
And Bartel trying to get around Jan Van Leer on the... You mentioned him. He picked up 2 spots in the first 5 laps after they went, or after Bartel came back out of the pits, and has just been working on tracking down Jan Van Leer for this 6th position, and now he is going to take it.
And Andy Poliski, while we were watching that,
just got past.
Barely squeezed through John Kay. And now Brantley Gainey is in the pits.
Interesting.
That seems a little early to me. It's going to be 40 laps left here on this last set of tires. I mean, not too crazy, but...
And Gainey was one that went long, too. So it's only been 22 laps since he came to the pits. So, not sure if something happened or if he's just making a swing for the fences here. But Gainey, coming off his best finish of the season, was running really well here tonight. Hopefully it finishes that way.
One person I wouldn't be surprised to see come in the next few laps would be John Kay. We know he likes to try to pit earlier than everybody else. That has been his strategy pretty much all season long. Oh, and Andy Poliski's the one to do it.
Wow. So maybe Gainey has drug Poliski onto pit road here on lap 76. This is, he went, what, 38 the first time, and now has gone another 30, or I guess, I can't do math, but whatever that split was. Poliski was one of the first ones onto pit road last time.
Let's go on board here with Michael Dean, another one of our Car Inside in-race drivers. He is right on the tail of John Kay now. Again, late here in the run, he has made, wow, a ton of ground. He is all over the number 2.
Dino is having a fantastic race here tonight. Has 2 top 10s this season, including a 5th place finish at Canadian Tire a couple of weeks ago. So I'm sure this is a race he was looking forward to here tonight. He finished 4th here in Season 3 and is trying to put the moves on John Kay here for spot number 2.
He had a huge run, but he tried to go to the outside to make the move, and he lost the nose a bit.
He might get it done here.
Woo-hoo!
Not leaving a ton of room there on the bottom for John Kay, who's going to come to the pit road. Nathan Reynolds is on the pits as well. So the top 2 pull in. Michael Dean is going to show the way. It's his first lap led this season.
And there's Nathan Reynolds and John Kay into pit just a couple laps after Poliski.
On the same lap that Poliski came to the pits, Rodney Matney also pit from the top 5.
Poliski is now working his way through Michael Dean. So Poliski unlaps himself here.
I mentioned Oz Kanar disconnecting a while ago. I believe he picked up a meatball flag somewhere along the way. So that was why he disconnected. Pascal Simard is on pit road, as is Garrett Rainey.
Greg Roberts and Michael Krall as well.
Michael Dean, I think, is slowing down, coming to pit road this time, so he will give up race lead to TJ Bartel. Assuming Bartel does not come into pit, and he does not. Why would he?
Jan Van Leer will, though.
Long way back from Bartel to Luke Peterson, who will be in second as he does not come into pit. Steve Roman right behind him does not come in either. And I think Kyle Zittel, Austin Holyfield, Will Salamone, and Paul Ellison are the final holdouts.
And TJ Bartel and Steve Roman can theoretically stretch this thing all the way to lap maybe 106, 107.
Yep. Then what do you do?
Then what do you do? That is true.
They'll have a good chunk of the field, a lot like last week. They'll have a good chunk of the field to lap down. If they stay out that long or manage to stay out that long. Nobody pits this time from those who have yet to come down pit road. Nathan Reynolds has cycled out to the lead, or will cycle out to the lead. He's in 7th right now. Andy Poliski is about a second behind him. And they are both about 3.5, 4 seconds clear of John Kay, although John Kay just set the purple lap of the session. So Kay not going to go down without a fight here, but has some time to make up.
Yeah, and he still has to get around Rodney Matney and Will Salamone to even get to. And actually, I'm not sure Salamone's come into pit yet. I think the last time he came to pit was lap 41.
But Matney has, so he will have to pass Matney here. They have both passed Michael Dean. So Matney, after hitting Dean, basically hitting a brick wall, got past him on pit road, on pit strategy. Will Salamone coming to pit road this time is having some sort of a discussion with John Kay about maybe some space given or some space not given. Oh, Will Salamone, too fast entering. That is the first black flag of the night.
Wow.
Man.
You fight that hard to put yourself in a good position, and gosh, that just does not feel good.
No. Salamone, one of only 3 drivers this season to complete every single lap, along with Nathan Reynolds and Andy Poliski. But that may be in jeopardy here tonight with the black flag.
And the gap between Reynolds and Poliski is under half a second now. Reynolds is also catching Steve Roman rather quickly. Of course, Roman's still out. He's not coming to pit yet. Reynolds came in on lap 78.
And good to note as well that Paul Olsen trying to go long on this strategy, but is still behind Reynolds and Poliski. So the strategy, as of now, not looking like it's going to pay off. At least in terms of winning or getting a podium, as Rodney Matney has now gotten past him as well.
Yeah, if he comes in and gets freshies, and actually doesn't even really have to do that. I mean, I think he started back in maybe 12th or 15th, somewhere around there, so he's still at a net gain at the moment.
Yes. Certainly will have a net gain, especially just having fresh tires on the truck at the end of the race. You'll be able to pick up spots that way, but he is hemorrhaging time here to Reynolds, Poliski, and Matney, and John Kay, who have all gotten past him now. Matney right now is on for a podium. I just want to point that out. John Kay is reeling him in a little bit. But right now, Matney is in third when you take out the top 3 who have yet to pit.
Things are going to get interesting here. To my estimation, Nathan Reynolds is going to catch Steve Roman here probably in the next 2 laps, if not before then.
Yeah, that gap was 7 seconds last time around, so he is reeling him in a hurry. But these guys are still 20 seconds behind TJ Bartell.
Oh, and Roman in the wall in front of him, actually.
Oh, man.
Not too hard of a shot, but still in the wall nonetheless. And Roman will go high, Reynolds underneath.
And Poliski looking to follow suit here as Roman is way loose there on the turn 4. Oh, boy. Reynolds and Poliski about a second separated here, give or take. Still waiting on the top 3 to hit pit road, or rather the top 2 now.
Well, here's Luke Peterson.
So Peterson will surrender the 2nd position. That just leaves TJ Bartell out front.
Just a beautiful truck.
How fitting. How fitting. "19 seconds clear." That gap really has not been coming down. So Bartell is still piping in great laps here.
Whoa, boy. Look at this. John Kay, Steve Roman, Rodney Matney, 3 wide into turn 3.
Yikes. Roman bails out of
finally
that.
comes into pit. He was loosey-goosey. And John Kay, he was trying to make good on a really awkward situation there. Wasn't able to get it done.
Matney trying to get out of Dodge, and I can't say I blame him. Lap times are definitely starting to come down now for Bartell. He's about 0.8 of a second off the pace per lap to Nathan Reynolds. How much of that is he going to make up here in the closing stretch of this race? Coming to lap 93, it looks like Bartel is going to stay out again. Bartel last time around ran a 38.6. Reynolds to the line this time is running a 37.5. So 1.1 second advantage that last time around for Reynolds over Bartel. Bartel in the high line here. Looks like he's going to stay out one more at least.
Yeah, I'm going to guess he's maybe going to come in with about 20 laps to go. I mean, that would have given him about a 40-lap stint, maybe 42 laps on the tires he's on now, which isn't a crazy long time.
No.
And then finish it off with a nice, hard 20-lap stretch. I think see how much time he can make up with that strategy here. But he's got to give himself some time to at least get some heat in the tires and really make a run at it. So I feel like he got to come in with about between 15 to 20 laps to go.
Well, that puts him in your window here. We'll see if he agrees.
And Ryan Dye's in here saying that if Bartel, if a caution comes out, he would have played it perfectly, and he is absolutely correct.
100%. 9 trucks on the lead lap. Bartel out front. Drag everybody into the pits with him.
And I think the longest that Bartel can go is to about maybe 10 laps to go, I think is as far as he can stretch it. So could probably go another 10 laps here if he really wanted to.
Maybe banking on that caution at that point, but you really don't leave yourself a whole lot of time on the back end to get up and get after it.
Reynolds is extending over Poliski now. That gap was under half a second, well under half a second actually. Now over 1.5 seconds.
Bartel was 1.2 seconds slower that last time around than Reynolds, so. Reynolds trying to extend on Poliski and pick up time on Bartel. Here in the closing laps. Just over an hour into this race. And one more reminder before Bartel brings it onto pit road, that we're back in action tomorrow night with the Daredevil Series at Lime Rock Park. We hope that you'll join us for what will be some white-knuckle, balls to the wall, road course racing action in the Lotus 79 tomorrow night.
When you and I were putting the schedule together, that is the one road course that I said I really wanted just because I think it's going to be something spectacular.
It certainly will. There's basically a jump in the middle of the back straightaway. I mean, you definitely get some airtime if you hit that thing at about 140, 145 miles an hour. It's nervous moments for sure, and they got to go over it 60 times.
Real quickly, let's go on board with Michael Dean. He is working through some traffic here. I want to make sure we give a nice healthy dose of airtime to our drivers that allow us to use their webcams and show a little bit about what they are going through while enduring these races. I mean, this is a pretty long race. 115 laps around a track that you probably don't run very much. That's a tough one for anybody.
$16 laps to go. Bartel bypasses pit road entry again. So he is really trying to take this thing as far as it can go. Hoping for a lapse in concentration from somebody. The gap back to Reynolds is now inside of 10 seconds, actually making it about 8.5. Coming to 15 to go. Bartel's still out there.
And let's go ahead and go on board with Jan Van Leer while we're at it here. Jan is actually one position behind Michael Dean. That's actually Dean way out there in front of him. That's about a 7-second gap.
ICR having a nice little race here. Brantley Gainey was running up with them as well. I guess he's only in ninth. So, yeah, they've got 6th, 7th, and 9th right now. Pretty respectable night, all things considered.
And Jan Van Leer, he was adjusting his ball cap. Has a face of grimace almost as he's going through turns 1 and 2. I think at this point, just trying to survive with a top 10, and that's a pretty darn good finish here.
Jeremy Carter has been on and off pit road. I have to ask, you don't think he can make it all the way here, do you?
Are we talking about TJ Bartel?
Yeah.
No, not even close.
Okay, I just had to ask. I just had to put that out in the ether.
I mean, he went 53 laps to begin. If he goes another 53 laps, that's lap 106, which is going to be in 3 or 4 laps here. So,
okay, just double check.
I don't think there's any way.
I think,
and he went 53 laps with a caution in there, by the way.
Yeah, and he would be overtaken. And theoretically, if he found that extra 9 laps of gas, he would be overtaken by that point by Nathan.
Oh, absolutely, yes. No question about it. I think Reynolds has been about a second a lap faster.
That last time around, Bartel was only 0.4 of a second slower than Reynolds. So Reynolds getting some fall off here. Either that or hitting some lap traffic.
Well, he is working around a couple of trucks here down into turn number 1. He'll have one more up ahead of him here, and then it's pretty much clear.
Bartel pitting this time over the radio. So this will be the money stop here, coming to 11 laps to go. Did wash up the track there a little bit. He sent it in last time. Is he going to send it in again? A little bit of lockup. And no flags popping up. That's what we want to see.
And there goes Nathan Reynolds. Has now
so Reynolds back to the lead.
Successfully cycled out. And John Kay is struggling here. Actually, Michael Dean has gotten around him. Those two still battling nose to tail right now, but Dean has cleared John Kay.
Reynolds just let Steve Roman go through and on fresher tires. Right now running in the 13th position. But Nathan Reynolds out front, clear by 3.5 seconds over Andy Poliski. TJ Bartel off pit road. See where he is going to cycle out to.
Looks like he's in 10th.
Interesting.
And directly in front of him, Brantley Gainey in 7th is only 4.5 seconds in front, so can definitely get up to 7th pretty easily here, I'm sure. After that, I'm not so sure.
So he can get past Ellison, Rainey, and Gainey in theory here. That would put him in 7th, exactly like you said. But up front, it's Nathan Reynolds' race to lose.
Oh, and I see Nathan Reynolds has he has changed his little picture here. He's actually has a picture with Ross Chastain.
Ha! he's very proud of the pictures that he took at North for a few weeks ago. Yeah, I can't say I blame him. So it's Reynolds, Poliski, and Rodney Matney, who, I mean, let's be honest, he is on the podium unless something happens here in the closing stretch. He is 3 seconds up on Michael Dean.
Yeah, but Michael Dean has put in some incredible performances late in these runs. I would not be surprised if Dean, at least gets close to Matney, if not, does have a move to make the pass. But we'll have to see how it develops.
So we'll keep our eyes on that. But, I mean, up front, it's all Nathan Reynolds. Reynolds not going to come away with a ton of laps led here tonight, but strategy-wise, he has not put a foot wrong all night long. Sounds like we just had an incident between Greg Roberts and Cole Maxwell.
TJ Bartel has made pretty quick work of Ellison and Rainey. Now looking to get past Brantley Gainey, and isn't doing it as quickly as I thought he might.
Well, those 3 drivers are not going to roll over, that's for sure. Even Bartel on the much fresher tires here. And just to be clear, it's another 11 seconds up to Jan Van Leer after that. So this is where Bartel is going to be settling unless there's a caution here.
Well, not much room. He looks to the underneath side of Gainey out of 2. On those fresh tires, will have a pretty good run here into 3, and this is pretty much going to do it here. Bartel up to 7th. Next in line is Jan Van Leer, who is over 10 seconds in front. Yep. That is a lot of time to gain with just 5 laps to go.
Randai says he respects the attempt by Bartel here tonight.
Oh, here goes Matney past Poliski.
Oh, wow. So all that time we were talking about Dean maybe closing up on Matney for 3rd, but it's Matney who is having an outstanding run here tonight. But Poliski is not done just yet here.
Did not see that one coming. I don't know. Maybe Poliski made a big mistake. I'm not sure. But you're right. Poliski fighting back big time here on the inside out of 2.
Matney has the run. Will he be able to take the arc he wants into the turn? Maybe not. We'll have to see if this outside line is starting to get rolling here.
And while these 2 are battling, Michael Dean is gaining some ground. This could get interesting.
Absolutely. He gained about 4 or 5 tenths on that last trip around. We got 3 laps to go. They're battling side by side, and this has opened the door to possible Dean podium steal.
Hey, we got Michael Dean racked up. Why didn't we go ahead and go little kick pot cam with him?
Poliski,
and look at this battle right in front.
Slider, he gets it. Dean is here. 2 laps to go. Matney rolled the center a lot better there, but really doesn't have anywhere to put it with a run. Dean about 3 truck lengths behind this battle.
Oh, and he sends it into turn 3.
Woo!
Oh, and he's really loose. Oh, he's going to lose a ton of time here.
So it's up to one of these 2 to make a mistake. Out front, Nathan Reynolds, well ahead of this, has taken the white flag. Matney maybe has locked up a podium here. But he wants 2nd. Working through lap traffic, Nathan Reynolds already looking to take his 2nd win of the season. He is going to come out of turn number 4 and win the All Your Race Car Belong to Us 180 at Twin Ring Motegi. The battle for second is on at the turn number 4. Matney to the inside, Poliski to the outside. Poliski is going to hang on for spot number 2. Matney with a career best third place finish. And Michael Dean with the second top 5 of the as well. John Kay going to bring it home in 5th here tonight. But how about Rodney Matney? I think that is certainly the story of the race here tonight. Best career finish before tonight. 5th place at Chicagoland in season 2. And Matney back, or actually on the podium here tonight for the first time as Reynolds. The winner here tonight at the Twin Ring Motegi Oval.
And here come the podium finishers sliding in right behind him.
That is career win number 14 for Nathan Reynolds. That gives him the all-time mark ahead of Andy Poliski. But Reynolds and Poliski 1-2 in the points. That is not going to change here tonight. The only thing that's going to change is Reynolds being ahead by a couple more than 5 points.
Nathan Reynolds having some fun with some teammates here. Let's go ahead and get that finishing order.
For sure. We'll get to talk to our podium finishers here momentarily. Reynolds, career win number 14. Poliski with another podium here on the season. Rodney Matney, first career podium, career best finish here tonight. Michael Dean, second top 5 of the season. He finishes in 4th. All-State John Kay, after leading maybe the most laps here tonight, at least the second most for sure. Oh, gosh. I'm choking on my own spit. Sorry. Oh, I got really worked up there about John Kay finishing in 5th here tonight. That's his 4th top 5 of the season. Jan Van Leer, best finish of the season. He'll bring it home in 6th. TJ Bartel, a valiant effort here tonight. He will finish in 7th. Brantley Gainey, I believe season best 8th place finish here tonight. Garrett Rainey, another top 10. He's racking them up here this season. Luke Peterson with another top 10 here on the season as well. Steve Roman, a great run here tonight despite finishing just outside of the top 10 in 11th. And Flinky Roberts coming to round out the lead lap trucks here tonight in 12th. Michael Kroll, good comeback run for him here tonight. He finishes in 13th. Paul Ellison in 14th. Kyle Zittel in 15th. Austin Holyfield in 16th. Corey Rutherford in 17th. Paul Sargent 18th. Pascal Simard, first truck 2 laps down in 19th. Cole Maxwell 20th. Carson Mitchell 21st. Kevin Sargent 22nd. Will Salamone in 23rd here tonight. Jeremy Carter in 24th. Eric Breeding 25th. Kenneth Graves in 26th. Tyler Bergert, the last truck running, I believe, at the end of this race in 27th. Kyle Dumig in 28th. Oz Kennard 29th. Ethan Patterson in 30th. No internet here tonight for Nathan Paluota after about the halfway mark of the race. So it is a uncharacteristic finish outside of the top 30, really outside of the top 10 for Nathan Paluota. And Mark Dillon Jr., unfortunately, a very early retiree here tonight, will finish in the 32nd and final position. Waiting for anybody to get to the waiting room now. I guess I could just start moving people around. I do see Rodney Matney in the Raging Moose Racing channel, so I'm going to pull him to the waiting room, let him know he's about to come up to the broadcast booth. And we'll go ahead and bring up our third place finisher here tonight. It is the first career podium of one Rodney Matney, who was putting on a show there late. Welcome to booth 200 here tonight, partner. What a drive for you here tonight.
Hey, thanks, man. It was a blast. I tell you, that track's so unique. And me and Andy, man, those last few laps, that was great. That's what racing's all about right there.
You've been on a roll of late, but what do you think it was about this track? You talk about how unique it is. What do you think it is that suited you here tonight?
I still consider myself a rookie on this platform, even though I've been on it a few years. I haven't had a lot of seat time. And most of us haven't run that track before, so I think it kind of leveled the playing field a little bit because I haven't had a lot of practice on a lot of the tracks anyway. And I just tried to stay clean, not overdrive the corners, and looks like it paid off pretty good.
I'd say for sure. You were rocking and rolling all night long. Matt, what do you got for Rodney here?
Yeah, I definitely say it paid off. Congratulations. You talked a little bit about the track. Just how different are turns 1 and 2 versus turns 3 and 4? It really is unique.
Yeah, 1 and 2 is, it reminds me of the entry and exit. It reminds me a lot of a sweeping track like maybe Michigan or something like that. But the 3 and 4, even though the banking's not there, the entry kind of reminds me of Bristol a little bit, diving to the bottom, the old Bristol that is.
Yeah, I could definitely see that for sure. It's our first time getting you up here in booth 200. So, you got anybody that you want to say hi to here tonight, or anybody that you want to shout out here since you're on the podium?
I want to say hi to all the family and friends that usually watch the broadcast. You guys, for sure, you do a great job. I enjoy watching it every week. And I just want to thank everybody in the Venom Series and everybody I race with. It's a great bunch of guys.
Absolutely, and keep up the good work. It's your third top 10 in a row, and we get you on the podium here tonight. Looking forward to talking to you again here soon down the line.
Thanks.
That is Rodney Matney with the first career podium here tonight. I always love bringing people up into the booth here for the first time. Shout out to Jacob Nagy in the chat as well. More on that later. But let's bring up your second place finisher here tonight, who is just going to get it done there out of turn number 4. Andy Poliski hangs on to second here tonight. It is another podium for your defending series champion. I know a spot shorter than you maybe wanted to finish here tonight, but talk me through your race here tonight.
Thank you. I'm actually really happy for a second because I was feeling really lost in practice last night, and right up until about the race start, I kind of figured something out. Something clicked late in the warm up there that I was able to carry through and make work. But man, if you asked me last night or at the start of practice, I'd have said top 10 would have been really nice.
Deciding to pit early, was that the plan going in? Was that a circumstance sort of thing?
No, it was pretty well the plan going in to try to pit before the guys in front of me to try to leapfrog them. Unfortunately, just I was a little bit too far back when I pitted, so it almost worked, but maybe next time.
Matt, what do you got?
We talked to Rodney a little bit about the battle that you guys had. What happened there? Did you make a mistake, or was he just really fast on those older tires that made that such a heated battle there?
Rodney was really good on the long run. I killed my tires every single run. I think I was in the 50% range on every single pit stop, so couldn't quite figure out how to save the tire as much as other guys could. But when we were able to battle, I knew I had saved just enough, I think, and was able to keep my truck in places where it made it hard to pass. So heck of a battle between me and him. That was great racing. They were a lot of fun. I was all smiles the last 5-6 laps when we battled.
Well, it's your fourth podium of the season here tonight. Let's get some shout outs going for you, as usual.
My team, Broke Guy Racing, kind of shorthanded, but we're making through. Trying to make up some points and on the Super Kick Racing and Alabama gang. They've got a very, very stout team. My sponsors, Nissan Wichita Falls, new sponsor on the truck tonight, Mobile One. Good to have them get a good finish. The league, these guys are great every single week in, week out. It's great racing, tough racing all the way through the field. And then every week in, week out, you guys in the booth, you guys do an amazing job. Can't wait to go rewatch this.
Now, you've fallen behind Nathan Reynolds the past couple of races, but Reynolds famously not a huge fan of the 2 miles. So how are you thinking about or what are you thinking for Michigan next week? Is next week the bounce back for you?
If I can complete the race, I should have a good Michigan race. Unfortunately, I think the 2 races we have in this league at Michigan have been wrecked while battling for the lead or in the lead. So yeah, if I can complete the race, I should have a good finish. And Nathan's going to be hard every week in and week out. So it was a good points night, but I'm still kind of lost some points to him. I got to figure out how to get some of them bonus points. He's going to kill me on bonus points this season.
Yeah, very unfortunate to say that the end of the Michigan race for you last season will forever be on every highlight reel here on out for the Venom Truck Series. So hoping for an uneventful Michigan for you here next week. But congrats on the podium in the meantime.
Thanks, guys.
Let's go and bring up another driver who was involved in that melee at the end of Michigan last season. But your winner here tonight, and for the 14th time in his career, that is the one and only Intimidator. Does it in the land of the rising sun here tonight, Mr. Nathan Reynolds, with the special paint scheme to boot. Welcome back to Booth 200. Got to be feeling pretty pumped up after a great performance here tonight.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. It's I don't know. It's if we came into this season, you told me to circle 2 tracks that was at the very bottom of the list where I expect to win, it'd be the 2 that I'd never been on before. So to have those 2 as my only 2 wins is surprising. So that's definitely feeling good.
Well, that's good to hear. At least that it's been a bit of a confidence boost. You're maintaining the points lead here tonight. I don't know. You didn't lead a ton of laps here tonight, but you were always seeming to be in the right position. So was that always the plan, to maybe let John Kay get out in front and lead the way for a while?
Yeah, I knew that the pace that I wanted to run, I was going to give up a lot in the beginning, especially on the initial first run. But I knew that after that, I could kind of position myself later on throughout the second stage, and then really put myself where I wanted to in the third stage. And it worked out perfectly. I came out of the pits with fresher tires in the second ahead of Andy, and at that point, I kind of knew that if I went mistake-free and just stayed clean, that I was where I wanted to be, and this would happen. So it worked out really good. It was an interesting race. The setup was something else. The splitter was just slamming off the track, so it was hard to drive.
It's nice to hear complaints about a setup and not be one that I provided for change. Matt, what do you got for the?
Huge congratulations. I mean, you've had a pretty uneventful race. I'm not sure there's anything to really ask. I guess what I'm going to ask is, what's for dinner there with your son?
He is eating, what is that? Weenies and veggie straws. Having a late night snack, aren't you? Yeah. He's actually awake for this one. I don't know that he's ever been awake for one of my wins. Usually he's in bed by now, so this is pretty cool. He came in running to me as soon as I crossed the finish line and fell out on the floor excited. So that made it even more special.
All righty. Well, that's great to hear. Let's get the shout outs going tonight.
Hats off to all my teammates this week. As I said, yesterday in practice was the first time that I'd even turned a lap on this circuit, and they provided me a lot of really good information to use and got me up to speed really quick. So Alabama gang and the guys at Superkick, thank them very much for relaying all the information they did. This win is most definitely on them. Nitro Racing, NitroRacing.com. Check those guys out for all your open setups. Be sure to tell them who sent you. Of course, RJ over at NASCAR Report, and getting us started in the early days. And if you want to say hi to everybody, Bentley. Hi. All right, give them the little thing here. Give them a little car inside thing. There we go.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I bet I know what your plans are for the rest of the night. But go party hard anyway. Congrats on the win here tonight.
All right. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All righty. Always special that these drivers get to celebrate with the family after a big one here. All righty. That's is that your first Twin Ring Motegi full experience here? What'd you make of the night?
Yeah, definitely. Full disclosure, I had to buy the track about 20 minutes before we went live here. So certainly my first experience with the full race. Of course, I had seen some races here before on the sim. It's You know, it's one of those interesting things, and the drivers that we talked a lot about it, how this isn't one that you're going to be racing at throughout the year. So, you know, Rodney really thought that helped him kind of come in with a little bit more of an even playing field since he doesn't have a lot of seat time in the sim. A lot of these other drivers don't really have much seat time at this track either. So definitely I think that played a pivotal role here tonight.
I would tend to agree with you. Some house cleaning before we wrap up the stream here tonight. Appreciate Ryan Dye hanging out with us all night long tonight. Hope you're having a blast on your vacation. Also, shout out to Lindsay G, Rebecca Mrs. Woda, and also Jacob Nagy in the chat. Shout out to Nagy as always for hanging out with us, even if he just pops by for a couple of minutes at a time. We always appreciate hearing from Jacob Nagy. We appreciate everybody that stopped by here tonight, whether it was whether you dropped in the chat or not. We always appreciate all the support, and so do the drivers of the Venom Truck Series. We wouldn't be here without you. We couldn't do it without you. The next time that we'll be back here on the channel is tomorrow night for some action in the Daredevil Series at Lime Rock Park. And the Venom Truck Series will be back in action next Tuesday night at Michigan for the Drink Faco Be in Fuego 180. I can give you one guess as to who named that race. But that's the next time we'll be back in action with the Venom Truck Series. Again, tomorrow night with the Daredevil Series at Lime Rock Park. It's going to be a banger. For everybody here at Turn 200 and everybody with the Venom Truck Series, for the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Matt Kenseth Williamson. I have been Tommy Cook. Until we meet again, we say so long from virtual Japan, where Mr. Nathan Reynolds has won the All Your Race Car Are Belong to Us 180 at Twin Ring Motegi. Have a good night, everybody.